Welcome back to Beast Wars Wednesday. I'm your host, Predacon Paul.
Decepticon Doug.
Today's episode is called The Agenda. Why is it called The Agenda? There's an agenda afoot.
And an agenda involving feet.
Feet?
The agenda begins with a very familiar explosion. You know what explosion it is because you see some very familiar pieces of Optimus Primal floating around. It's going across space. It's, you know, the thing is that the explosion never really stopped.
So not only does this explosion go through Earth and space, but it also goes through time.
Rhinox is at the base. Would you believe? He's pushing buttons.
And joysticks.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's true. This time he's gone all the way with the button pushing and now the joystick using, and he's like, so Rhinox is like, okay guys, guess what? Cybertron is about to find out where we are. And then they have a little party around the Maximal base. Party in the Maximal base. Everyone's so happy.
Yeah.
Everyone's having a good time. And Ratchet's like, hey, guess what, Silverbolt? Nudes.
Silverbolt, I'm not sure that he will fit in with the Maximals, because he was a Predacon once too.
He goes off, he leaves the base, although...
On patrol, as they say. And then he ends up running into Black Arachnia.
Yeah, coincidentally, Black Arachnia is there. And she points a gun to his head. And
but it's not loaded.
She's like, hey, give me that thingamadoo that you have in your thingamabob. And he's like, can we just admit it, that we're not fighting here?
They're having a robo-romance.
Mm-hmm.
I bet you they did it.
Robo did it.
They robo did it.
Yeah, totally. They definitely robo did it.
Oh, for sure.
And Ratchop is like, hey, yeah, finding new positions? Because apparently we're able to make some robo innuendo in this kid's show.
And then he gets thrown to the ground and his face stepped on.
And Optimus is like, I know Rat Trap does this to people, but not right now, okay?
Come on, you guys. We can all get drunk when we get back to Cybertron, and then we can all take turns beating on Rat Trap.
They're prepping up because they're sure Megatron is coming to attack. It's do or die time as far as Megatron's concerned. If Cybertron shows up, neither the Maximals or the Predacons are very happy at Megatron. And meanwhile, at Cybertron, or actually before it even gets to Cybertron, the transwarp wave hits a Predacon station.
A big space station.
Everything shakes up and they're like, whoa, everybody. Woo!
This dude's like falling.
Party in the Predacon station. And in response to that, there is a meeting of 3 shadowy figures.
Very shadowy.
Do you know what it's in reference to? The Tripredacus?
Yeah. Please inform the audience.
The 3 combiner toys, they form Tripredacus.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
From the toys, because they combined and they formed Tripredacus, right?
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah. Okay,
and then there's the Maximal one, Magnaboss, I think who's called?
Are the Tripredacus Council, these 3 members, will they combine into one?
It could just be a wink, wink, nudge, nudge to the audience who really are big fans of the toys. Mm-hmm. There's no indication that they could combine. Maybe they can. Every now and then they're just like, hey, you guys want to do another 3-way? So anyways, the Tripredacus Council start talking, and they're like...
That Megatron, he stole my ride.
Mm-hmm.
He stole my friend Dinobot.
Oh, no.
And he stole my girlfriend, too.
Oh, he stole a lot of girlfriends. The Tripredacus Council dump a lot of information on us. A little bit clunky, but also kind of cool.
Clunky.
Exposition bit.
The Emperor's adopted daughter?
Here's the thing. I love political stuff like this. Little political talks like this. So they're talking about their plans. There's just these 3 evil guys going like, oh, yes. Yeah. I love it. They also exploded a satellite that blocks the transwarp wave from reaching Cybertron.
Which doesn't make any sense. Because as if they would only have that one sensor right there. It's their homeworld. They'd have sensors all over the place. The second the transwarp wave would have entered their space, they would have known about it. Either that, or the Maximals are really stupid.
Those Maximals have gotten a little too cozy. Way too used to peace, clearly.
So what the heck are the Predacons waiting for?
Time strikes now, boys. There is a covert agent being sent.
Ravage?
Well, we'll find that out later.
Oh, it's not Ravage.
It could be anybody. This cloaked vessel goes and does a little transwarp whoosh, Turns out Optimus is right. Predacons are attacking. They're super subtle about it, though.
Yeah, they're just like standing over there on top of a ledge with the computer thing, and every time a sensor beam goes by, this is how they cloak themselves.
I gotta say, that's never how the sensors have worked before.
No.
Kind of a bit convenient.
It's like a line of sight sensor as opposed to detecting energy signatures.
That one's a little shady, guys. A little shady. I actually am really curious as to the little gizmo that they were building, like what it was gonna do.
What was that?
Yeah.
And then Rampage just flattens it.
Yeah, Rampage just comes in, he's like, alright guys, we all know who wins this dick-size competition, and he switches to his big one, and actually no,
Fires all three.
He shoots all three, and which lowers the maximal base shield down to 40%. Ow! The battle's going great for the Predacons. The Maximal, I don't know what's wrong with their defenses today, but they suck. Those guns were taken out in no time. And the guns actually look a lot like the Predacon guns.
Yeah, they do.
Couldn't come up with a different design there, Optimus?
Maybe they just stole it from...
Yeah, every now and then Ratchet goes and just steals a gun from the Predacon base. Like, alright, I'll set this up over here.
Yeah, he probably could.
Suddenly, nothing from the sky starts blasting the Predacons. Megatron's like, oh, I know what that is. I know what that is. Let's go. So the Predacons are gone, and now the Maximals are like, what happened? The ship decloaks as it lands. I'm just like, okay, I know what's up, so let's turn off the shields.
Lower the shields.
Yeah,
Come on, use the lingo.
God, idiot.
They open the roof hatch.
And then there's like, nothing's there, but something's clearly there because of red laser beams. And then Optimus is like, you know who this is? This is a Decepticon who's reprogrammed as a Predacon, and his name is Ravage.
Pew, 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 pew. Shoots their guns out of their hands.
Oh no! And then he's like, as he decloaks, and he is a kitty cat who stands on two legs. Unlike the Ravage that we know, who was a kitty cat who was on four legs and just went rah, rah, rah. Ravage is like, hey, I'll help you out. You guys want to fight Megatron? I'm up for it. Only he said it in a Russian accent. Covert Agent Ravage, at your service. And they're like, cool, well, I guess, let's go beat up Megatron.
I can cloak my ship, but it is not the only ace in the hole that we have here.
In Soviet Russia, ship cloaks you. Megatron's like, okay, everybody, we're gonna be under attack. Let's all take our battle stations. Black Arachne, especially you. And Black Arachne's like, yeah, sure, buddy. I got my own thing I gotta do. Hey, Waspinator, I got a special mission for you. And he's like, quick strike, don't make an appearance in this part at all. And
Sure, boss.
Yeah,
hey,
boss.
don't make an appearance.
Battle begins. Starts off with all the Maximals jumping down, getting ready to fight, announcing their flight modes. Cheetor crashes because he's a big old goofy kitty cat. He didn't land on his feet. And then my favorite is his moment at the end. Oh. Oh.
Rampage decides to make an appearance. He shoots 3 missiles at Ravage's starship.
Which Ravage is like, that was impressive.
Okay,
In Soviet Russia, missile shoots you. He returns fire, and then Rampage explodes. Probably the worst explosion he's experienced so far. Black Arachne is emerging with this little stasis pod thingy that she built with a little gizmo that Silverbolt gave her. And Optimus is like, hey, Silverbolt, you stop her.
No. Have you seen that derriere?
The derriere isn't exactly her selling point, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, it's those legs.
So she gives Silverbolt a little wink. And Silverbolt just turns to pudding right then and there, and he just can't take her down. She zooms away. Waspinator zooms away. Optimus is like, oh man, this was going so well.
We all know where she's headed. Optimus has a stash of secret bananas.
No.
Yeah, he didn't tell anybody about it. Because nobody else seems to be on the same page. He's like, if she's going where I think she's going, we're all in serious trouble.
Man, that sucks when Optimus loses all his bananas. We actually have footage of Optimus finding his banana hoard stolen.
Tragic.
Oh, the poor guy, he's just so upset by it.
And then he has to ride Rhinox.
Yeah, just to get through all those Predacons.
Yeah, Waspinator.
Yeah, just to get his bananas back.
Look at him, he's collecting this banana, that banana.
So yeah, We gotta stop Black Arachne from getting to the banana horn. So in the Predacon base, Megatron's trying to get everything sorted out. It's like, you keep fighting everybody. I don't want them to get in here.
Don't give up.
Then suddenly, all of the controls start to shut down in the Predacon base.
He's losing power.
And then... And then he's captured. And Ravage appears. And he is under arrest. To be continued. In the next episode, the agenda, part 2.
Part 2.
Optimus is in his quarters. He's looking out the window. He's a little ticked off.
Come.
Silverbolt walks in. He's like, you wanted to see me, sir? And Optimus, you know what? He now knows what's up. He's like, so how long you been chasing that abdomen for? Silverbolt's like, a while. Since Bad Spark. You need to stop, because that's gross. I think I can turn around. Optimus is like, you're being an idiot. You know, she kind of helped kill Dinobot. Okay, you've cost us a huge advantage because you let Spider Lady go after my bananas. And then, and he's like, okay, Optimus, I'll go get her. And he's like, no, Cheetor's gonna get her. You go to your room.
And then Silverbolt says, I was a Predacon once too.
I was like,
I can talk to her.
Here we go again with you being a Predacon.
We know.
You were never a Predacon. Even when you were a Predacon, you weren't a Predacon. Anyways, he's locked in his room because
He knows what he did.
He knows.
So then Cheetor's all like, you know what? Hey, Bolt. So since you're not allowed to see Black Arachne anymore, do you mind if I hit it? And then whack!
Oh, snap. Shouldn't have gone there, Cheetor.
He's like, what? I thought you guys were broken up. Whack again!
Oh, yeah. Ratchap sees him, he's like, oh, man. And then he slams a big button, because there's an alarm button there now. I didn't know that before.
The big red button.
And Silverbolt blasts a huge hole at the side of the Axelon, and he just flies off. And the autoguns...
Which, strangely enough, were not used in the battle.
Yeah, wait a minute.
Are all shooting at Silverbolt.
Oh, they must have had the little switch turned to maximal. And you accidentally flick the switch to maximal instead of Predacon for who the guns shoot at.
It's happened to me before.
What a whoopsie daisy. And then Ratchap's like, ah. And arguably my favorite line, maybe second favorite line in Beast Wars.
I used to be young like that.
So do you think he's referring to Silverbolt's being enamored and in love? Or
just
the
like
fact that he can like tumble and roll and do all those things?
It's just the whole thing. He's
Passionate.
in love and passionate and willing to like rebel against the order. He's like, I'll fix this. I'll do it. I love the line because it's just vague enough.
You can tell that like Rattrap has like been there and done that and seen it all.
Yeah.
He's got kind of like an aged, like rough around the edges kind of quality to him. Like he's not a young bot.
No, he's a seasoned vet. And Optimus is like, well, I guess not much we can do about that. Let's go do something else. Ravage is having a chit chat with Megatron, and Megatron's like, hey, so I know you lost a lot of fuel in the battle, and you don't have enough to get back to Cybertron. In Soviet Russia, we borrow fuel from Maximals. And Megatron's like, Maximals, they got nothing. I saw that in Victory. But you know what I do got? I got a stash of Energon. I do like Energon. I'll take it. And he's like, it's a secret. You'll never find it. Ravage reveals that he was in cahoots with Tarantulas, who was a member of the Predacon secret police.
What?
And Tarantulas found that Energon stash. And you know what he had to say about it? It was just the funniest thing in the world to him.
So the Maximals get deployed to go find the Energon stash.
Mm-hmm.
And they come across a cave.
Cheetor sees this, he's like, Big Bot, bananas are still green.
How can we eat these bananas if they're raw?
Boom, out comes Inferno. And Inferno basically opens fire on the two of them. Inferno's going crazy, boom, boom, bam. He gets hit with an Energon surge. You know, back in the old days. And he pulls out his gun, starts cackling like a lunatic, because he is a lunatic, and burns those Energon crystals. They get out of there as fast as they can. Inferno just laughs until the Energon explodes and basically vaporizes him. Silverbolt catches up to Black Arachnia. hey, can I take you home? Black Raccoon's like, that's very forward. It's really inappropriate. I'm actually saving myself from marriage.
So they argue. She doesn't want to go.
She shoots him in the leg.
He's like, but it wasn't mortal.
And then they smooch. Meanwhile, Waspinator, the guy is clearly not paying attention to his surroundings. He's got this one job.
Zero situational awareness.
One job. He just has to go to the mountain and press buttons or something. And he's like, okay, time for me to enact super secret mission plan. And then boom! The stasis pod flying majig crashes into Waspinator. All parties are destroyed. Black Raccoon is falling. Silverbolt swoops in and saves her. And she's like, oh,
again.
Not again.
Nuts.
Save me once, fool on you. Save me twice, fool on me. That's how the saying goes.
No, it's fool me once, shame on you. But you see, we already got fooled, and we can't get fooled again.
There's a great callback. Back in Ravage's ship, he's like, Megatron, it was just a trap, and I'm sick of your nonsense.
So we're gonna settle this old school style. He pulls down the mic. They're gonna have a rap battle. We got MG Ravage, and we got Eminem Megatron.
Megatron.
And they're about to have an old school freestyle rap battle, son.
Ravage pulls down some guns. He's ready to pop a hole in Megatron's head.
Pop a cap. He pulls out his fofo and he's about to pop a cap in Megatron's ass, you know what I'm saying?
Megatron's like, well, don't you want to know what this is all about? Ravage has a moment of like, to shoot or not to shoot. And then he's like, okay, I gotta know. Because again, curiosity killed the cat. So he takes the power bonds off, and Megatron's like, oh yes, I've got this now. Then he brings out a shard of the golden disc. Yeah, a little piece that managed to survive Dinobot's blast. So he puts it in his little projector, and he plays it, and would you believe it is
Optimus Megatron.
The original Optimus Megatron. And he's like, hey, I'm Megatron. I'm a big bad guy. I want everyone to know that if I fail, you gotta do what I was gonna do ages ago, which was. And then Ravage is like, cool. Optimus and Cheetor are heading right back to the base. And Rattrap gives him a little call on the old cellular telephone in their heads. What's up, Rattrap? Rattrap's like, okay, good news and bad news. Good news is we don't have to kowtow to the Decepticon anymore. And what's the bad news? Bad news is
he's not our friend anymore. He unfriended me on Facebook.
Oh no.
And
that's how you know it's really over. As dramatic timing would have it, uprises Ravage's ship with none other than Megatron on top. Megatron, being Megatron, laughs about it. Yeah, very funny.
To be continued.
Part 3 starts. The shooting is still shooting. Cheetor and Optimus land. They start pounding into Ravage's ship. It can only do so much. It is a spaceship.
So Rattrap decides, you know what? I've had it with these gosh darn Decepticons in our gosh darn sky. He goes Knievel mode, grabs a couple of detonators and drives up a ramp, lands on top of the ship, and starts burning into the hull with a torch.
Rampage is also there, along with Quick Strike, and they're making a fuss. But Tarantula is in Ravage's ship. He's on full berserker mode, pressing buttons and stuff, and he's getting like a big gun ready. He presses a big button, and he's like, "Oh, this is gonna be good." A blast hits Quick Strike in the back, and he's like, "Oh!" And then Cheetor blasts him, and he gets run over by Rampage because Rampage doesn't care. Rampage manages to get through the shields of the Maximum base. Rhinox makes him mad by shooting him in the face with a machine gun.
Machine guns! There's a giant missile on top of Ravage's starship. Basically, Tarantulas has allocated all the power from all systems into this missile, and he's ready to unleash all heck.
Watch your language, Paul. Whew, that was pretty edgy. Rattrap gets in. He's like, hey, gotcha. He throws in the detonators, and then he throws them onto Tarantulas' hands.
They get stuck.
He's like, blah! Rattrap zooms out of there because he knows what's going to happen next. And it goes kaboom. And then the whole ship is engulfed in flame.
Decepticons forever!
And goes spiraling down, crashing, and is about to hit Rampage. Rampage starts running for his life. He's like, oh boy. Rattrap is right in the back of the missile.
The ship crashes, gets sandwiched in between a rock face and another rock face. It's like a rock cleavage.
And Rampage is like, la 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 la, as he has managed to get away from the ship. It did not crash into him. He's cool. He's safe. Except the missile launches and blasts him. You can only assume turned him into crab pate. And Rat Trap lands into Rhinox's arms.
His hero.
And they kiss passionately.
You know that's been building up for a while.
Yeah, the tension was getting thick. Mm-hmm. Megatron clearly lost this battle, but that's okay. He's got another plan. He's zooming off to do his own thing. Optimus is like, you know, guys, I probably should have told you that life, the universe, and everything's on the line. And everything we thought we knew and thought we loved ever is in jeopardy. So away they go, all four of them. Silverbolt and Black Arachnia get into that cave.
They blast their way through.
And Silverbolt is like, what is all this big ship? It is a spaceship. In the G1 Transformers series, the Autobots lived on Cybertron. They were on a whoosh mission. I think they needed more energon. And then the Decepticons hijacked the ship, which was the Ark. All of them were fighting on the Ark, and they're like, oh shoot, we just crashed into this planet. And the planet was Earth, into the volcano.
Mount St. Helens.
They were all in stasis lock for a long time. And during that time is now when Black Arachnia and Silverbolt show up. If that makes sense. I hope that... Does that make sense?
That made sense.
Cool. It made sense, everybody.
So...
Do I get a cookie or what?
You do.
Yes.
And then who shows up? Mega Breath. He shoots Silverbolt. Silverbolt goes flying into a shield. That shield zaps him a little bit, and he goes flying off the shield, almost into a pit of lava.
And you got an owie on his tuchus. Megatron blasts the door shut, because he doesn't want anyone to come in there. And the Maximals do show up, and they're like, Megatron, blast the door shut! So they start digging away. Megatron's like, look, Black Arachnia, I know you have those codes in your head, because I just went back and I rewatched Coming of the Fusors, and I saw you do it. And I'm going to prove it by shooting you. And she's like, ha! Shoot away! They still won't get the code, sucker! Actually, good point. I'm going to shoot this guy, because you know I love to kill Maximals. Just love it. My favorite thing. Actually, don't do it, because I'm going to help you. Because I'm a Predacon, and that's what I do anyway, right?
Yeah, so get out of my way, fool.
Yeah, I don't care about him, though.
Yeah, I don't actually care about him.
Yeah. And then they just stroll into the Ark like nothing happened.
Yeah.
So the Maximals do finally get in, but by the time they get in, Megatron's in to the Ark already. Black Arachnia is arming the gun, the outside cannon, and it's going pew, 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 pew. And they're like, well, this sucks, because they can't get into the Ark, because there's a shield, the gun is shooting at them. And meanwhile, Megatron's just strolling through the Ark, looking at all the Autobots and Decepticons.
Huh. I had action figures of you and you. Oh, you were my favorite.
Those were the good old days.
You were.
And he doesn't want to tell anyone that his favorite was Bumblebee. But yeah, pretty typical answer there, Megatron.
Yeah.
Everyone loves Bumblebee. Why don't you pull out a deep cut like Brawn or something? Brawn's nobody's favorite. Never mind.
Megatron decides, you know what? I'm gonna shoot you in the face.
He says that to Optimus Prime. He gets his tail. He charges it up like it is,
It's his final flash.
Yeah. The Maximals are still shooting at that stupid gun. Ratchat's like, wait a minute. I forgot for a second. I'm awesome. Let me get this. Pew! Cause a back surge. Black Arachnia is knocked down. And then the Maximals go up to the door, but it's closed.
Let's get Rhinox to pry it open with his hands.
Good job, Rhinox. You're doing it.
You got this, bro.
Megatron is just still charging up that big shot, talking about taking a big stand against history, and he just unloads the blast into Optimus Prime's face. And yeah, he unleashes the big old time storm that's just destroying the universe. And he's like, hey, everybody, guess what I did? I did it bad, and I love it, because I'm evil.
So take that.
And everyone's just like, whoa!
The end?
That's the agenda. The season finale of season 2. Well, everybody, what worked for me, I like the grandness of the story. I like that it finally ties up all these loose ends that have been going on literally since the beginning of the season. A lot of the things were kind of wrapped up from Dinobot's story and everything, but there was always still the fact that Black Arachnia had all this data saved in her head. Mm-hmm. And so this finally takes that to the next phase. And it feels big, and it feels important. Bringing in Ravage was terrific.
Yeah, but he also falls under one of those things that I don't like about this episode.
Okay.
I liked him as a character. I thought that was cool. I never really had any personal attachment to him, but I felt like how they handled his character leaving the show was annoying. Here's Ravage. Oh, he's super dangerous. Oh, look, he's really cool. Oh, he double-crossed us. And then he's just gone. As quickly as he showed up, he's gone, and nobody seems to give a shit. I get that there's this greater thing going on, but it's like they never mention him ever again. It's just like, oh, now it's Ravage.
It kind of feels like that as we're watching the episodes side by side. It felt less so, I think, when you were watching it as originally intended week by week, right?
Yeah.
It seems almost kind of like he is legitimately playing ball with the Maximals. I like that kind of political angle of like, oh yeah, the Predacons and the Maximals are at peace. He kind of shows himself as this agent to help them out, but what he is actually he's an assassin. Mm-hmm. And he's there to kill Megatron. And he's there to kill the Maximals as well. He's there to just finish everybody off. Except for probably Tarantulas. They didn't necessarily have to add the fact that he was going to finish off the Maximals.
I think it would have been more interesting if he switched sides and we still liked him.
Yeah, just do 100% to his old loyalties.
Yeah, because that would have made way more sense. Thing I did like, I mean, obviously they needed 3 episodes for the story to be told properly. Mm-hmm. But the one thing that I noticed was that each episode, there wasn't really a whole lot that happened. They spent more time on individual things as opposed to cramming a whole bunch of stuff into one episode or 2. So you had much more time to develop the romance between Black Arachnia and Silverbolt, to take their time with each step of the story. It felt like a good series of episodes.
Overall, it is like a first episode is first act, second episode is second act, third episode is third act. That kind of like very familiar movie structure is there.
Yeah. We got to see some more interesting dynamics with some of the characters. I think you were talking about how it was interesting to see Optimus as a leader.
I love that scene between him and Silverbolt. He doesn't talk to Silverbolt like he's a kid anymore. This has gone too far. The way he says, "Don't be an idiot." Like, he's so done with Silverbolt's excuses. He's kind of sick of the same things we're sick of. I was a Predacon once. It's like, okay, you don't shut up. Like, this isn't about you. This is so much bigger than you, and you don't understand. It's a really cool side of Optimus to see that level of intensity, but also, like, he's not mean. He's
just at the end of his rope.
He has to put his foot down and be a captain and be a leader. We say go to your room, but it is kind of like, he's like, go to your room.
You're confined to quarters.
I mean, well, really, that's just the military way of saying go to your room.
The way Optimus carries himself, especially in that scene, with the whole command structure, even in the way he carries himself, his arms are behind his back, and he looks and acts more like a leader than he's ever acted before, seems to fall in line with and parallels the coming of Ravage. There's an interesting quality to having in the Beast Wars someone be under arrest, because it shows that there are forces at work now and involved that are larger than the Beast Wars itself. And granted, the stakes in this episode, you know, being that Optimus and like Black Arachnia are the only ones who truly understand, well, and Megatron, it's even more so like understandable that he would cling to that command structure and need people to follow his orders.
I already voiced that I really like the Predacons Council stuff. It does help flesh out some of the history. There's a lot implied about Megatron's past with them. They're still having to kind of clean up his mess a little bit because there's like political ramifications because of Megatron's actions. So like obviously there's more tension between the Maximals and the Predacons. It's cool to see that there's more happening elsewhere. Well, the whole Beast Wars are going on.
As a result of Megatron's choices. Yeah. One thing that I really like is how they mention just how brilliant Megatron really is, but that his meddling is, like you said, like he's got a history with them, so it's tiresome and it's troublesome.
As much as we did joke about the exposition being a little bit clunky, it only is in certain parts. A lot of it does make sense for like the briefing room kind of thing. It's the moments that were like really bad exposition was like, one day we Predacons will rise up and it'll be like a day of our choosing or something like that. Which it's like, oh come on. Everyone around the table knows that you guys want to get revenge on the Maximals. Yeah. But the other stuff of like them explaining like, okay, well I've already arranged for the satellite to explode. And he's like, oh well I've already arranged for a covert operative. Like that kind of stuff makes sense for like this sort of briefing room. Also just the mood of that scene. The mood I think is really cool. Like I could watch that over and over again. Ratchet was great in this episode.
Oh, he was phenomenal.
Especially in part 3, where he single-handedly takes out Ravage's ship. Not to mention, like, disarms the Ark with his straight shooting. Yeah, like, he was an all-star. Like, damn, what would the Maximals be without Rattrap?
They'd be screwed.
It's like, he looks at the situation, he's like, okay, I think I know what to do.
He's like, what do I have? I've got detonators. How does that help? The thing's armored. Not from the inside, it's not. Now, the only problem is getting on the ship. Oh, a ramp. Open the hatch. Boom.
It's a good thing I got wheels and some boosters.
Brilliant tactician.
What did you think about the twist of Tarantulas being a member of the Predacon Secret Police?
When I first heard about it, I was like, really? But now that I've had a chance to watch it as an adult, really?
You don't buy it?
Never been sold.
No? I kind of like it, but if he is a member of the Predacon Secret Police, he's bad at his job for even letting Megatron get as far as he did. It does inform a lot of his treacherous nature, like the fact that he's just never fallen into line with Megatron.
I always felt that Tarantulas was a loner because he himself was an evil genius just like Megatron. Mentally, he was Megatron's equal, except he was insane, whereas Megatron is a megalomaniac. And I also felt like he was kind of a loner because of his spider nature. You know, they adopt some of the traits of their beast forms. I mean, why else would Black Arachne always go off and do her own thing? So I always just like connected those dots and went, oh, okay, so this picture of Tarantulas that I have in my head, and the reason for him doing him the way he does him, is gone because now he's Lieutenant Tarantulas.
Part of me thinks that like maybe he was a member of the Predacon Secret Police, but also isn't particularly loyal to them either. Whatever suits him the best in that moment.
Is there anything else that you didn't like about this episode?
I think it's pretty solid. There's a few issues it has here and there. And obviously it's so important in the story of Beast Wars. It's one of those huge turning points in the Beast Wars. Almost a finishing point, really. They weren't even sure that they'd get picked up again for the third season. So it could have been a really ballsy way to finish off the show. I would have been pretty pissed off as a kid.
Oh, man.
If I had to nitpick about something I didn't like, why have the blue lines around the cloaked vessel? You know, to like show the audience that it's there. The effect of it just being kind of a blur, that works fine for me. To have him or the ship have a blue outline just feels kind of cheap. It's always bugged me. Maybe it's because I grew up watching Star Trek. It's like, I know what a cloaked vessel is, okay, guys?
Yeah. So after deliberating at length, Doug and I are going to give this episode
5 out of 5 classic Megatron messages.
a lot of fan service and a lot of great relationship building and character development happened in this episode.
I think that this is just really classic Beast Wars. Like, this is a great, really epic finale to a phenomenal season. All in all, season 2, especially the latter half, was just really solid kids' entertainment. Episodes like these are why people look back on the show so fondly. Crucial Beast Warring.
For sure.
Yeah. Hey, man, we made it through season 2.
Holy crap.
We only got one more season left. It's been a ride.
It's been a ride.
Season 3 is going to be very interesting to dive into. There's a lot to talk about.
There is.
Yeah.
Tell us what you thought of the agenda.
Yeah, we'd love to hear from you. Also, please share any thoughts about season 2 in general. We have a special episode before we get into season 3 that
a spooktacular episode.
you're going to want to see it. And of course, like, subscribe, send to all your Transformer-loving friends.
Tell your mom.
Especially tell your mom. Like sometimes you're in the battle and you absentmindedly switch the
Flick the switch.
Thank you.